Good morning, good afternoon, happy Tuesday. It is a good Tuesday. I left some money on the table, I gotta say, with GXAI, but hey, I still just have to be content, man. And I wish I could have held on to that a little bit longer, but hey, it's an awesome day today. We're gonna break down every single entry from this morning. I thought it was gonna be a slower day today than it was. I came into the open not really seeing a whole lot. I had two setups I was watching this morning on the pre-market list. I was watching both SOAR and I was watching FUSC. Now, FUSC was, of course, from last night's free watch list, which I gave you last night. And then, of course, I had SOAR from pre-market, which was my favorite for the open. That was my biggest win today, too. So going into the open today, I had the expectation of today's just going to be a slow day. It might even be a no-trade day. That's what I was telling myself from the get-go, is this might be a no-trade day today. And I was watching FUSE from yesterday. I was watching, of course, the SOAR out of market open. And it's just, FUSE was so thin. It was a fantastic setup. We had that really, I'll show you here on the larger time frame. We had that really tight setup here into today. And I was looking for that breakout higher where, again, we were looking for the break of this tightening wedge. And, of course, it breaks out at the bell, very similar to feed last week. And so I take a tiny win on this. And my biggest concern here the whole time playing this was all these big wicks off the high, these big topping tails. Again, tons of sellers to the upside. It's hard to really do anything with this. I shot a little bit of a shot there with small size today. Like I mentioned on stream this morning, if you were there, only a half size. There really wasn't a whole lot of conviction. I liked the setup. It was a good setup. It was worth the risk, but it wasn't worth risking, of course, full size. So small size play on the break of this opening range from pre-market. Of course, took pullbacks as it began to confirm back off of VWAP here. Looking for the breakup higher. And I got a little bit of a curl here back up into retest that previous high. There really wasn't a whole lot to be had on this. Like I said, as it began to tighten up here, I realized the risk to reward was no longer here. And so, of course, did not take the course of this pullback. That's not even a pullback. That is a knife through the floor. Because as this, of course, tightens longer and longer, this range becomes lesser and lesser. So just not a great setup there. So, again, small size play. Apart from that, out of the open, had SOAR, S-O-A-R. Now, this is one where I'm actually pretty happy with today. Now, the first play out of the open was able to break the ice in a pretty big way. Now, I played back in pre-market, too, a little bit. Which I know is not like me. I don't love pre-market, but I saw it. I said, well, let me at least try some small size here. And so I tried it. And so in pre-market, this gets setting up, and we can see how it's sort of, look at this. It reclaims very nicely. And so we put it in place. As you can see, we have these lower lows. And, of course, we are putting in place what was this very tight sort of tweezer-style setup here. We have these, again, lower highs and lower lows, putting in place this really tight tweezer. And so it gets breaking out. It breaks trend here to the upside, back over the 9 and 20 EMA. Price pulls back. I take the entry, looking for this VWAP area to hold for the curl back up into the pre-market highs. Now, of course, I don't get that move initially. It sort of hesitates a little bit, and it's like, and so as it breaks out here, I had a nice entry, as you can see. It gets curling there off the 9 and 20. I get my stop loss raised, of course, as it breaks over this high to make sure the price does follow through. So, of course, raise stops to entry, and it was a very small win to start there in pre. Then, of course, we go out of market open, and that's where this gets actually pretty fun, thankfully. The open's been good for us lately. I got to say, the open has been very fruitful, and then things just fade after. I say thankfully. GXAI got going later in the morning today, and I was able to get some good wins on that, but then, of course, left some money on the table, too. But I know a lot of people yesterday had no trade days, and we actually found some good opportunities yesterday, so I can't be too upset. Got to be grateful. So we were going to the market open where I saw, again, we had, look at this, lower high, higher low, again, tightening wedge going up into the bell. Well, looking for a breakout, of course, not chasing the first move. So what happens here is it actually sells off the bell, puts in place this doji thereafter, again, signaling indecision. I want to wait for it to confirm the upside direction. As you can see, it does confirm the upside direction. I'm able to take pullbacks. And so I actually take a pullback here. Then I added some back here at 84 for the squeeze up higher towards 92, $1. Because we had room back up into the pre-market high, which you can see right here, sitting right here off of 90 cents. And so as we get going here, again, like I said, took the pullback, added here for the breakout higher. I ended up getting a pretty nice play here. So I ended up playing this, as you can see, from 84 cents to 92 cents. Now, my big concern here, and I was typically what I would do is look for an add on a flat top break like this. If we're deep in profit, I'll look for an add on a flat top break. But the thing was here, we had the $1 level literally right up here, 10 cents over that breakout level. And so in my mind, I'm like, do we have enough range to get an add here? Or is it most likely just going to grab liquidity, fake out, and fade? And so that's exactly what happened here. It grabbed liquidity, it faked out, and it faded. And so I took a full profit off the highs, and from there, I'm happy with this. I started the day nicely, broke the ice in a good way. Overall, I can't be too mad. Overall, I cannot be too mad. And so I have my two big wins here, a little break evens, little tiny paper cuts here. To be honest with you, these are fat finger trades. I did not even mean to take them, which is embarrassing to say. But nonetheless, paper cuts here. And so overall, I had some good cushion built up on this big move here. Of course, from here, I have it from 84 to about 95. It's about a 10-cent move. Of course, my little paper cuts here, so not even a cent. But moving on from that, though, we did have GXAI, which I actually traded pretty well today, and I'm really happy with the setups here. Caught this here today from 192 back up into the 210s, and I'll show you here how I caught it. It's actually a really good setup, and I wish I had more size. But I think my problem with today was in terms of sizing that looking at the whole context of the day and how slow I thought the day was going to be, I went in sort of, what do you call it? Sissy footing? I don't even know what the saying is. I went in like a sissy. And I just wasn't taking, I just didn't have conviction. And so, anyways, we have, again, look at this. High from pre-market led to lower high. Again, connect the dots. And you'll see here we have high of day, lower high. And so I'm watching this as it breaks trend to the upside, as you can see right here. And what we also have, again, this could not have been a better setup. We have the break of trend, followed by, look at this, VWAP right there beneath the breakout. The 90 MA right here tied up against price. And so we have so much confluence here that makes this such a beautiful setup, not to mention using pre-market support. We have this previous high as support. This was a beautiful freaking setup. So we had pre-market support. We have this area of resistance from aftermarket open, which again flips and becomes an area of support. We have the break of trend from pre-market, and we have the 90 MA and VWAP. This is an A+ quality setup. This thing was beautiful setup. This thing could not have been much better. And so I took it here 193. Of course, stop loss goes down there off of VWAP at 185. So roughly 7-8 cents of risk. You can say 10 cents to round. And looking for a move back up into pre-market supply where we had range to, because we can see these topping tails off the highs from pre-market where we knew we had a range to today, which will take me as my next point too. So I knew that we had range here from, as you can see, 195. We had range back to about 210 to about 220. So 20 cents of range. I'm looking at about 7 cents of risk. About 3-to-1 risk to reward. Again, cool, right? Totally good with that. This was a fantastic setup. And so again, played it very well. Even got some pullbacks off the 90 MA to see if we could get the retest. And again, we did. Now, where I began to struggle with this today, because again, this setup was beautiful. Where I began to struggle is we keep on rejecting. Boom. Grabs liquidity here. And at that point, I'm almost scared to take a breakout. And then when it gets breaking out later after going into 1030, again, wicks off the high, and it's just so hard to trade. So while I've got some good trades here off the pullbacks, trying to take breakouts on this, while I wish I could have caught this move, I didn't. And I could have caught it here. You see where I took the pullback entry here on the reclaim? I kept that so tight because, again, I just wasn't trusting how this was trading up into that past area of supply. It was just not trading clean. And while it looks good in hindsight, I don't know how I would have gotten a good read on this at all in real time. So I'm happy I traded it how I did. I played it well. Again, 192, 193 to about 210. So I'm happy with it. What more can I ask for? So that is the morning. Again, not a whole lot out there this morning in pre-market. The issue is right now is the market is still hot, but we need a good theme. There's nothing for people to really, focus in on every day. So volume is still sort of dispersed, not really that clear setup. This morning's SOAR was an awesome setup, though, my top watch at the market open. And so in any case, that is the morning recap. So another green day recap. Hopefully we can just continue this on. It's been an awesome start to the year so far. Really getting into the less is more mantra over the last few days. Only traded 3 stocks today. And that is all it took. So I'm happy with it. Overall, of course, hoping for a better or more active rest of week. It's been fun, but I could always use some more opportunities, of course. Never going to turn that down. Or some more high conviction opportunities, I should say. Not more opportunities, but just opportunities with more conviction. So if you did learn a thing or two from this video, make sure to subscribe for daily content just like this. And of course, make sure to claim your 7-day free trial to trade alongside me in real time every single day. In the description below, where you'll also get alerts, watch list, chat room access, education, scanners, news, momentum AI, momentum journal, and so much more. And that being said, I will see you back tomorrow for an awesome day ahead. Make sure to also comment down below how you did today. Hopefully you had an awesome day in the market. I'll see you back then.